Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to our 26th meeting of this Rotary year. Before we start, let's hear the housekeeping rules. Over to you, Klaus.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Klaus.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yeah. So Klaus is our sergeant at arms. So we will hear from you the rules.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll just summarize it so that we can move along.
Yeah. Make it very short.
It is still the season of holidays, and we all get a bit rusty. So I'll just tell you, keep your videos on, mute yourselves when the meeting is on, and most of all, thank you for coming. We shall now proceed to the next step of our meeting. I'll share screen again. Okay. First of all, we have so many birthday celebrants, and it's wonderful that many of them are within the next few days, especially tomorrow is Roland, today is Debastri. So we wish everyone on this list, all our members, the most happy and blessed birthday. Congratulations to all of you. And wedding celebrants, Gerard and Margit, and they have Sylvia and Dr. Dawn and Eve Chen and John and Siobhan Goras. Congratulations to all of them, and wish them many more happy years ahead. Next, we just want to talk about this, the National Center for Infectious Disease. Just like what we had done previously with the Khoo Teck Puat Hospital, we have now also another signing of an agreement with the National Center for Infectious Diseases. For those who are not aware, NCID is the main body that deals with our COVID situation and previously SARS. So we are signing an agreement with them for collaborations with this program called the Public Health Ambassador Program. If President nominee Dr. Chan is in the chat, is in the Zoom already, would you want to say something? Dr. Chan, are you in already? If he's not in, I'll just move on. And what I would hope is that on the 17th of January, when we are going to sign the letter of collaboration, we do have space for some physical attendance. So members who are keen to attend, please let us know. We'll send details. For those who can't, I believe there will be a Zoom. So do log in and show your support. We are big into doing this Public Health Ambassador Program. We are working with our youth, the Interactors, the Rotaractors, and we are also working with National Environment Agency and NCID, and also other Rotary clubs. We are all doing this for the benefit of everyone in Singapore and beyond. So please remember the date, 17th of January. Those who are not members but would like to find out more, just either let me or the person who invited you know that you wish to participate in this, and then we'll send you the information.
I can add few words to this if Dr. Chan is not there, right?
All right,
We have added
Director Mukund, Youth Service Director, please.
No, we have added a couple of more youth service committees, youths from the lot of interact clubs across Singapore when we had a talk in the Singapore Youth Medical Forum. And we're going to have a physical camp in the month of June for this. In the month of June 16th or 17th, we're going to have an infectious disease directive, the infectious disease camp. And that's the reason we are going to collaborate with the National Center for Infectious Disease and do this program to bring that awareness among everyone. Thank you, President.
No, I forgot. As I said, we did Zoom, and then we did physical, and then we
Rotary.
did hybrid, and then we forgot to do the toasting. Usually before the start of meeting, we must do a toast to Rotary International and to our guests. So Honorary Secretary, who will be our Toastmasters for this evening? Toastmaster for this evening.
Oh, is it me?
PP Jimmy.
I thought you've
President
forgotten
Jimmy.
about it.
Yes, no, I remembered now.
Okay.
It's coming
Thank
back.
you. Thank you, President Luis. This is my turn as a Toastmaster, and good evening to all our guests and fellow Rotarians, and also in particularly good afternoon to our fellow Rotarians in Turkey. Let me wish all of you a very happy, though subdued New Year. And in less than a month from now, of course, we will enter into the year of the tiger. So in the spirit of the Rotary tradition, it gives me the greatest pleasure and honor to raise a toast this evening, Singapore time, to our fellow Rotary Club from the country of Turkey. Now, the Istanbul Rotary Club was founded in 1956 as the first Rotary Club in Istanbul, also known as Constantinople, as you know, in the past, right? Anyway, it might be of interest to all gathered here this evening that Jim Davidson, the Special Commissioner for Rotary Extension, arrived in Istanbul in 1928. Although he had some meetings and several officials expressed interest, Davidson actually left Turkey with a feeling that it would take perhaps years before conditions in Turkey was such that the introduction of such a movement as Rotary could be successfully accomplished. And he was right. Istanbul was not chartered until 1956. So coincidentally, for the benefit of our Turkish Rotarians, the Rotary Club of Singapore was chartered by the same Jim Davidson in 1930. So today, the Rotary Club of Istanbul is the largest Rotary Club in Turkey, as well as one of Europe's 3 largest clubs with 250 members.
Wow.
Similarly, the Singapore Rotary Club happens to be also the largest in ASEAN, though not in that number. So with that, I would like to invite everyone tonight to please charge your glass and join me in raising a resounding toast to the Rotary Club of Istanbul, coupled by a toast to Rotary International. To Rotary Club of Istanbul.
Rotary International.
Istanbul and Rotary International.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, President.
Thank you, Past President Jimmy. And we also would like to acknowledge the attendance of other Rotarians. We have PDG Dato Mustafa, and we have PP Chen Tek Shin from Jurong. We have also PP Winston Dong from Thailand. So welcome everyone. For those who might have missed out, my apologies. But your attendance here has given us great support. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next item of our evening, okay, this is an announcement that we had as a board considered many factors, and we have also heard from members who are very keen to resume physical meetings now that I would say 100% of our club members, I believe so, right? Almost 100% or 100% have been vaccinated, and majority have also been boosted. They only had your booster shots. And with safe distancing measures, safety measures within the various outlets, we believe that we are ready to do the physical weekly. And the place that we have looked at, and in comparison with others, we're only committing for the next 5 to 6 months. Okay, it will be at the Tanglin Club. So more details will come as to like how the proceedings will be, where it will be. Okay, so for now, what we can tell you is that it will be in Tanglin Club, Churchill Room. Okay, and whether we can do the meeting as well as the dining in the same place, or we need to have the dining in Churchill Room and the meeting in the theater. All these are details that will come much later, depending on how we're going to maneuver the safe, distancing measures that Tanglin Club has to abide, and we as a club need to abide with. All right, so moving forward, from 19th onwards, we will have physical. Okay, it will be hybrid for a while, but once we get more accustomed to the physical meetings again, well, hybrid might be something we have to review and see if we want to stop the hybrid and just do physical. I know most members. Okay, PE James, you have something to
Yeah,
say?
excuse me, President Luis, 19th January is not available. So it's most likely to start on 26th instead, because 19th Churchill Room is not available.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that must have been from today's email, which I've not seen yet. Okay, thank you for sharing that. So I look forward to all members coming forward to participate in the physical meetings. It's been a long while. The tradition of Rotary is that we must meet and we must have fellowship, and then together we do good, and then we serve to change lives. So let's get back to that. All right, so next item. Okay. We are moving towards the speaker for this evening, and for that reason, we have Rotarians from Istanbul joining us this evening, because the speaker will be from Istanbul, Rotary Club of Istanbul. So Rotarian Matthias, can you please address us and introduce our speaker for this evening?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Dear fellow Rotarians, our great honor and joy to welcome today Rotarian Mr. Alper Almelek. Alper Almelek is a widely studied and accomplished man. He studied political science and music at University of Southern Maine. He holds an executive MBA degree from Sabanci University. He also holds a postgraduate diploma with distinction on organizational leadership from Oxford University. And he also participated in the certificate program on entrepreneurship and leadership at Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He received honors and recognition in his multiple engagements, such as a musician, he composed the Turkish National Coast Guard anthem. As a sportsman, he was swimming from a Greek island over to Turkey. He wrote several books. And he has 23 years experience as a businessman. He gave presentations.
Matthias, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
I have it myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you again.
Yeah. So he wrote several books and has 23 years experience as a businessman. He gave presentations in over 100 conferences. One of his top speeches by TEDx was titled Leadership and Shakespeare at Bahçeşehir University, and this was watched 35,000 times so far. So heartily welcome and many thanks, Rotarian Alper Almelek. We are looking forward.
Thank you. So can you see me well and hear me well, first of all?
Yes, we can hear you, Rotarian
Okay.
Alper.
Wonderful. Then let me try to share my screen. So can you see the first slide? Like this. Okay. The curtain is opening. Can you see this slide?
Yes.
Just to yes. Okay. So here we go. First of all, I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity. I'm happy to give you a little seminar, let's say, today. And here I am in Bebek, which is a district of Istanbul, and I see you are ahead of me. I am now in the European continent of Istanbul, And ahead of me, there is Asia, the Asian continent. So you are there, okay? And because Istanbul is separating Europe from Asia with the Bosphorus, you know, this sea, the Marmara Sea. Anyway, so today I will try to give you a short speech on creative leadership, innovative leadership, and collective, you know, the teamwork all together. And we'll do some exercises together, because if we have our hands on something, I believe we learn much better than just hearing, you know, intellectually. So here we go. We have this interesting gentleman in front of us. His name is John Cage. I don't know if you heard his name before. He is the founder of the modern classical music of the history. Okay, he's American, and he gave a concert in 1950 at one of the most prestigious concert halls in the world, which is in New York City, the Carnegie Hall. Perhaps you have been there before. You know, if you perform there at the Carnegie Hall, that means you are at the top of your career in music or performance arts. So he performed in front of perhaps 2,000, you know, audience, a piece called 4.33. I would like to show you this piece. I don't know if I can, but I will try to do it. Yes, I believe you see it, right? You see this video. So I'm starting from the beginning. So here we go. Here is the piece.
Your video is frozen, actually.
The video is frozen.
No, it is not frozen.
We cannot see it. We don't see the video.
Ah, you don't see the video. You don't see anything. Okay, well, then I have to turn it off.
We see the picture, but not a video.
You see just the picture. Okay, well, it is the same thing more or less, because if you were able to see the picture, the video, you would wait for a while and you would not, you know, I don't know if you're watching it now, but you would not have him you will not see that he's playing, okay? Because let me go back to my my presentation. So this is what you have seen, okay? And let me show you the piece that John Cage played. Let me show you the notes, the music notes, okay? So this was the piece he played. So as you can see, it is for any instrument or combination of instruments. So it was 4 minutes and 33 seconds long. That's why John Cage, the father of the modern classical music, Western classical music, composed it in this way, that he sat down at the piano and he waited without putting his hands on the piano for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. That's why it is called 4 minutes and 33 seconds. And the idea was, and of course the audience were shocked, you know, they came to Carnegie Hall, the most prestigious concert hall in the world, even today, and they saw John Cage, you know, a wonderful figure of classical music. He's sitting at the piano and not playing it for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, because the idea that John Cage was trying to express was that whatever that comes to your mind in that 4 minutes or so silence, that is music, okay? Because the idea is that creativity that we need to use, you know, in our social life, in our business life, is coming from a single thought. Because we need to present new ideas to the world. As John Freeman said, you know, it is new products, new thoughts or ideas that we need to create and give to the world, to our environment. Then we become creative. And Lord Judkins, that's a very important another scientist on creativity, creative thinking is a muscle, it's just like a muscle in our brain or in our soul. As long as we do creative activities, we increase and we work on our muscle. So it starts from a thought. From the thought, you have feelings. The feelings come to your brain. And then from your feelings, you have ideas. And those ideas you turn into innovation, or you turn into art, or anything that has to do with creativity. Well, I'm sure you all know Pablo Picasso, the Spanish 20th century, one of the most important artists, painters of his time. Pablo Picasso had said that every single person that is born, including all of these participants today in your club or everywhere in the world, in like 10 billion people in the world, every single person who is born as an artist. That's what Pablo Picasso has said. But something happens in the childhood, something really bad happens. The kid, boy or girl, it doesn't matter. He or she draws a horse with 5 feet, but the horse has 4 feet, not 5, but he or she draws 5 feet. And what happens, either his or her parents at home or big brother, or even worse, classmates in the school, let's say in kindergarten, or even worse, the painting teacher would say to the boy or the girl, hey, you cannot draw a horse with 5 feet. A horse has 4 feet. So what you did is ridiculous. Well, this is the comment he gets at that young age. And Picasso says, when he hears or she hears this comment, that what he or she painted is ridiculous, then what happens? The artistry dies. Only after perhaps some years, in later lifetime, it may come back by some coincidences. But at the very early age, when he or she hears something so annoying or frustrating, the artistry dies. But what happens, the good news, the creativity stays. The creativity stays with us all our lives. And every single person in life is creative, okay? To different levels, but is creative. Here is the slide that you see that, the guy is wiping off the young kid's imagination, which is bad. And how can we poke? How can we persuade? How can we convince people to be more creative? Well, I have done a scientific experiment at the Bahçeşehir University, which is one of the universities in Istanbul. It's a private university. And at that university, with the mathematical department, including the artificial brain, which is one of the trendy topics of our time today, and the artificial intelligence. Using artificial intelligence with the mathematical department, we have done a few years ago an scientific experiment on leaders of business world. So we had invited people to the university, and this is called electroencephalography. Maybe you have heard it. It's some kind of like a bonnet, you put on your head, and for ladies it's a bit longer because they have longer hair, but it works anyway. So they put these, these buttons, and they have these buttons on your chest somewhere, at different places, and they measure the wavelength, the length of your brain waves, okay, the that's why it's called electroencephalography. And what we did was we invited people over from different companies like Hilton Hotels, DHL, some of the ones that international companies. Some of them are Turkish companies. We invited some department heads like the purchasing manager, R&D manager, vice GM, or some guys and ladies and men. We invited them to the university. We measured their wavelength of their brains, and then I have given them a seminar. Not like today I'm giving you a half an hour short seminar. I gave them a 4-hour seminar with many exercises. Okay. And then after that half-day seminar, I have given them for 9 weeks one assignment every Monday. I have sent them assignment by email. They had 1 or 2 weeks to do the assignment, and they were really interesting assignments, you know, like doing animation stuff, I don't know, listening to some music and, you know, trying to put their imagination, what they hear when they hear that rap music or the opera, whatever, you know, different kinds of music. So they had different exercises that they have done for 9 weeks. So every week, one seminar, one exercise. And after 9 weeks, we invited these guys, you know, all these managers back to the university. We remeasured their electroencephalography, you know, using that bonnet. And then we have found out that their attention level, which is in the first, you know, in the frontal lobe here, we have the attention level, and we have also some creativity part somewhere in the brain around here, somewhere in the back. We measured that their attention level has increased almost 100%. And these people, they were not artists, they were not writers, they were not filmmakers or poets, you know, they were normal, well, whatever that means, you know, they were, of course, all university graduates. We had many of the participants, there were around 20 participants. We had many of them who had their master's degrees and few with PhDs. So all these people, they have done this 9-week, you know, exercises, and their attention level in their brain has increased almost 100%. So that means you don't have to be an artist, okay, or you know, with a huge IQ or EQ, but you can all be creative just by doing some, you know, poking. You know, we have this poking part in Facebook. You know, you can poke people. You know, they have this alert. If you give this persuasion to people, you can change their way of looking to creativity. Okay, let me continue. So creativity is something that is happening in our brain, and we need to reflect it to our business world, for example, because we need to improve by innovation our companies. Whatever business or sector you are in, you need to do that in order to increase. Because when you look to the future, they have done several research, like the IBM did a search on 1,500 CEOs of the world, you know, of many companies. They have found out that in the future, the most important ability that or capability that a company would need would be creativity. That's number one, creativity. Okay, because as we have this artificial intelligence going, you know, the robots, you know, everything going so much further, we have to be much more creative in the future. Okay, so let's do this little test. We have sent you this paper, okay, by email. I hope that you had printed them. Well, if there are any of you who didn't, I'm sorry. But for the ones who did it, we'd like to do this little test together. But if none of you had printed it, then I can move on to my next slides. I assume some of you had printed it, or please let me know in case the majority is not done it. But the idea is we will do a little test to measure our creativity with only this, you know, small test. It's called 30 circle test. It's an international test done in many schools, you know, at different levels, from kindergarten to university degree. It is done, and I'd like you to do it now. And so I will put a timing, but let me first explain you the rules of it very quickly. You see here 30 circles. The idea is for you to draw pictures in those circles, but it has to have a meaning. You know, if a person from outside looks to your paper, he or she has to see what you have drawn. So you cannot do abstract drawing, okay? It has to be figurative. So, and I will show you now another slide to give you an idea. And then I will go back to this slide, and then I will start the timing for only 1 minute, just 1 minute. And I have done this test too, in seminars in Mexico, in United Kingdom, in Switzerland, in Iran, Turkey, many places. So it works. Okay, so the idea is for you to draw some pictures in those circles in 1 minute. And the idea is, the aim, the target is to draw as many meaningful circles as possible. Okay, maybe 5 or 10 or 15 or 20. If you are really, really creative, maybe 30 in 1 minute. Well, which is not so easy. But okay, as Salvador Dali, another Spanish very important painter, had said, without imitation, you cannot create. You cannot be an artist. That's what Dali had said. Well, he's right. That's what Steve Jobs did. He connected things together. He connected the camera, the computer, the iPhone, the Walkman, and he created iPhone. Well, that one phone doing all. So you need to imitate from others, but then you need to create something on your own. So I will show you this next slide, only a few seconds, to give you some ideas, some inspiration. Okay, so let's go. So you've seen there's a bicycle here, the world map, traffic sign, etc., etc. So I go back now. Okay, I think you've seen enough. You have an idea now about what to do and how to do it. But if you draw exactly the same thing as you have seen in the next slide, still, it doesn't help. It doesn't help you. I don't mind. You can do whatever you like, but it will not help you to measure your creativity. But if you have ideas coming to you by just seeing this next slide, okay, this is an exercise by itself. You can see that. Then you can do this slide, these drawing of the circles, and you can perhaps get some good ideas, good creative ideas. Okay, so I am going to. I hope you all hear me, that I'm not talking to myself. So as you can see here is 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. So I will push now. So please have your pens and your paper in front of you. Okay. I will count to 3, and then I will start, and then I will wait for 1 minute. And before the 1 minute ends, I will give you an alert, like a warning. Okay. So you have 1 minute to fill as many circles as you can. You can also combine circles, as you have seen in the next slide. These some person combined these two to make a glasses or bicycle. So you can do that. You can combine more than one, more than two. It's up to you. Oh, back. Enough imitation. So, or inspiration. So let's start it now. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So you have 30 seconds left. 30 seconds. Finished. Please stop. The examination is over. Okay, let's do a little evaluation. But mind you, this test doesn't mean that you are fully creative or you are not creative. We cannot measure your creativity just by one little test. Please, It's not possible, but it gives you an understanding. It gives you a feeling. It gives you inspiration, because you can use this test for your children at home. You can use this test at your companies, to your subordinates. If you have a team of 10 people, 15, 50, 500, it doesn't matter. You can use this test on them, because it is only increasing the awareness of creativity with a game. Because as we play, we learn more. You know, it is proven, if you play, you learn better. If you have fun, you learn better. This is what I'm trying to do in my classes at the university here. So now let's do this little evaluation. So I'm opening the chat box. Would you please tell me if you did, yes, someone said, yes, they have Steinway, yes, Steinway is the best piano. They have it at Carnegie, of course. It's the most expensive piano as well. Anyway, so please write to me if you have done between, well, 0 and 5 circles only. If you could only do between 0 and 5 circles. So you could have done only 1, or only 2, only 3, only 4, or only 5, but not more, maximum 5. So please write down if you did it. If you want to write down, it's optional. If you don't want to write down, don't write down. All is optional, all is voluntary. Okay, so one person did 4. Okay, anyone else? Okay, I have not so much time. So between, okay, between 5 and 10 is also, okay, someone did 9. How about between 10 and 15? Anyone did up to 15, maximum 15? Anyone? Okay, I have 14, 12, great. Okay, how about 20? Anyone who did 20? Or 25? Or 30? Okay, thank you very much. Whoa, someone did 30. I will have to see that one. Because if you did the 30 by just, combining all the 30 circles, like an electrical circuit, this is not countable, because the idea is to do as many different creative circles. But in any case, perhaps you have done it already. Great. Okay, well then I'm continuing. Good. Please apply this test to your company workers or to your children, especially to your children, because you can see there are so many interesting examples coming from children as well. Okay. So let me get out. So I'm teaching today at the Istanbul Technical University. I teach there as a voluntarily, as a part-time instructor, 1 semester a year. And I'm teaching to the computer engineering students. In Turkey, entering a university is a difficult thing to do. There are 2 million students every year attending two examinations, 2 million people. And if you want to study computer engineering at the Istanbul Technical University, which was established in 1773, so old university, one of the oldest in Turkey. And if you want to study computer engineering at the Istanbul Technical University, from these 2 million people, 2 million students, you need to be ranking as the first 2,500. Okay, so it is difficult to enter. Even at the university, at this technical university, computer engineering faculty is the most difficult faculty. And I teach innovative leadership in computer engineering class to only the computer engineering students of that faculty in that university. And I have, in a few weeks, I have my classes which will start. And the idea is to teach them not the hard skills, because they're already doing programming and code writing all 4 years, and it's quite difficult. And the school is also quite difficult. the idea is not to increase or to train them on hard skills, but on soft skills. Because they found out that as the IQ, intelligence is high for these kids, for many kids around the world, the soft skills get not so high. They are having difficulty in presenting themselves, in expressing themselves, for leadership positions. That's why the dean of the university for the computer engineering faculty has asked me to give this course to, somehow to inspire them in terms of other, notions. So, and one thing that I try to teach there is the preparation of creativity for each person. So what shall we do? How can we prepare ourselves so that we can use the creativity in our social life, but also in our business life, in your companies? The first thing that you need to do is to prepare your soul. It's abstract, right? The soul is abstract. What is the soul? Can you see the soul here? It's abstract. But how can you increase your preparation for preparing your soul? Well, one thing is the family. The family really helps you out. There is this, I will tell this little story about this French boy who lived in 1500s, I believe 1600s. He lived there in a big mansion like you see here, like this is actually his mansion. The mansion that this boy lived, his name is Michel. Michel is a French boy name. So he lived there in those times. And his father was, a bit obsessive guy, just like the father of Mozart. The father of Mozart was also obsessive. He wanted his son to play the violin from the age of 3 or something, or 4, and doing always, study. Well, this father is the same, and he asked a classical music orchestra to come every morning to his son's bedroom, okay, and play him lively. In 1500s, we're talking about, 500 years ago. 500, there were no iPods, no Walkmans, no long plays, nothing, no technology. Well, their own technology, let's say, at that level. And he invited this live orchestra to his son's bedroom every morning, because every morning, he would wake up, the boy would wake up, age of 10, would wake up and, have private lessons all the day long. Okay, philosophy, different things. So he asked this orchestra to come to his son's bedroom and play lively, so that he would wake up to Western classical music. Well, it doesn't have to be Western or Eastern, classical music, let's say, violins and everything. This way, he thought that his son would have, let's say, a more delicate soul, so to say. Well, and the second thing that he wanted his son to do was to learn Latin, because at that time, Latin was not spoken among the public. It was a language of academia. Okay, even not so much in academia, but he wanted his son to learn Latin, so he hired a Latin teacher, and he gave the Latin teacher a room in the mansion. Can you imagine? You're hiring a teacher and you're giving him a room in your house so that he can teach all day long, 24 hours a day. Well, money talks. But in any case, the boy learned Latin so well that when he grew up, he read all these Latin works of the ancient times, and he created a book called Essays. We're talking about Michel de Montaigne. Okay, I assume you heard him. He is the father of philosophy, French philosophy and philology, and he affected every single writer after him. Bacon, Shakespeare, Descartes, all these guys. So because of his father's obsession, in a way, he learned Latin and he listened to music. So how can we apply this in our business life? We need to be creative, right? What are you doing in order to create some delicacy in your employees' world? Okay, are you having sessions in the company for music, or if they want to learn something really well, what are you doing to influence them. Okay, you can apply it to your children at home or to your employees at work, but you need to prepare your soul. And another thing to do is you need to go. This is something I give to my students also when I give this seminar to companies. I also ask them to do it. So please do this exercise yourself. Go somewhere in Singapore or from wherever you have, you are living. Go to a place where you feel calm. Okay. Well, here in this slide, you can see Istanbul is one of the nicest places for this calmness. Well, not everyone would agree because of the traffic, but okay. In any case, we have parks. So just wherever you live, go somewhere in Singapore or wherever else, and find a place that really makes you feel calm. That you find yourself there, you feel good about that. And when you are there, turn off your phones and your laptops and all the electronic equipment. Just turn them off. Then stay with yourself for 1 hour. And then in that 1 hour or later, it doesn't matter, it's up to you, write something. You don't have to write a poem or a story or a novel. Just write your feelings. If you want to do it by writing, you can do it by, I don't know, singing or drawing, whatever, or taking some pictures. However you do, but stay on your own at a place where you feel it is so calm for you. This can even be a couch in your home. It doesn't have to be a park, a national park somewhere. You can just stay at your home, in your balcony, you can do it. It's up to you, but find a spot and there write an essay of any size, 1 page, 5 pages, whatever. Just do it because it starts to prepare yourself for creativity. If you're in the insurance business, well then think about something about insurance. Write about it in that calm moment, or whatever you're doing, electronics, art, whatever. Just do that because it will help you to prepare your soul. Okay. And then the second thing to prepare ourselves is observation. It is extremely important that we are observant. We are doing as many observations as possible. Well, these two men are like the king of observations, Alfred Hitchcock on the right side and Sherlock Holmes on the left side, So you can take these people, as your models, because these people, they were so good in observing. They could find out every single nuance, every single detail when they were looking at something. It doesn't have to be a murder case, of course. You can do it for your business. You can do it for your electronic business, But we need to do as many observations as possible. Well, there are some tests as well for that. I would like to just do this little bit because we don't have time. But do you see something really absurd in this picture? Really strange. Something that is really, really strange. I mean, what is it? There is a trick. What trick is not? It's not a photographic trick. It's a real photograph. Excuse me?
Fire?
There's a fire, yes. There's a fire here. I don't know if you can see my pointer. I'm pointing now. But there's a fire at the back of this building. Yes, but that's not the absurd thing. Well, you could say that's absurd, but the fire can happen, So it's not absurd, not that absurd. I'm talking about a really absurd thing here.
Pumpkins and not cider.
Well, there are pumpkins on the floor, yes, but is it absurd? I don't know. Someone had, thrown them to the floor. Or
it said also, sweet cider, but there's no cider. It's pumpkin.
Well, okay, but that's not so absurd.
I think
that's not so absurd.
I think the behind the house there's no leaves on the tree, while on the other side here there's plenty of leaves on the trees where there's a lot of pumpkins.
I think
my Rotarian friend.
What does he sell pumpkin if there are pumpkins for free?
No, you haven't found yet. You haven't found yet.
But why does he sell pumpkins when there are pumpkins for free lying around?
Well, maybe it is for free, but I'm talking about more absurd thing, much more absurd.
There's a Christmas tree.
There's no smoke without a fire.
Say it again, please.
There's no smoke without a fire.
There is smoke.
There's no people out there, but there's
People.
a fire.
Well, maybe it's a building which doesn't have any people. I don't know. There are many buildings in the world that have no people living in there.
It feels like
let me tell you the answer. Let me tell the answer. The answer is you may argue that you have not seen it well, and I would accept that because we look into a screen now. We all look into a screen. But I can assure you, I have done this seminar at places where they had a screen like, I don't know, 10 meters long, big screens, and still people didn't see it. So the trick is, there is a fireman who is choosing pumpkins. There's a guy, and he looks like he's a chief. He doesn't look like a new starter or in fireman world. I mean, he has fireman trousers. You can see the stripes, yellow stripes. It's very small, but you can see it. He has a big coat, and he even has the helmet or the cask, whatever it's called, the fireman helmet or something. Okay, so there is a fire at the back in a building, and we see a fireman chief or fireman who doesn't care about the fire, and he is trying to find out the best pumpkin for the evening. Okay, so of course the trick is, the real story of the picture is that this is a teaching. So the guy, there is no real fire, or they made the fire on purpose so they can teach the newcomers of the firemen, the freshman firemen. So they're trying to put off the fire and learn how to put off the fire. And as no one is dying and nothing happens to the building, or the building is not so important anyway. So the chief says, I want to have my wife, or myself to cook pumpkin soup tonight. So let me choose the best pumpkin on my own. So to look to this picture, this picture is showed at big universities like Harvard, Princeton, for the students, and they're also trying hard time to find out the real trick. When I show it to people in big screen, much bigger screen, sometimes it takes 5 minutes for the audience to find the trick. They talk about the trees, they talk about the pumpkins, or the signs, the sweet cider, farm market, blah, 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 but they don't talk about the fireman here, which is the trick. So this is just an example to give you the idea that when we look to something, how much do we see? How much do we observe? Can you be so good observant for your business? When you enter your office, how well do you see the office? How well do you see the people moving or people working? This is the idea, okay? So let me continue. Then we have the third preparation level, which is imagination. Imagination is a wonderful thing. You look to a marble, a big marble, and when you look to the marble, as Rodin said, the French sculptor, Auguste Rodin, the one who did the Thinking Man, he says that when I look to a marble, to a marble block, I see the inside. I look and I see what I'm going to sculpt. It's magic. You look to a block and you see what you're going to make out of it. So it is imagination, and imagination is extremely important. It is more important than anything else that exists in the world, because the information is based on imagination. Everything starts with imagination, as Albert Einstein also says. So, and creative leadership. How can we do the creative leadership for our company, for our business, for our teams? This is the idea. How can we prepare our teams, our collective work in terms of creativity? And how can we do studies or brainstorming activities for our employees? Brainstorming activities. this is something I like to suggest that you do to your employees in your companies. Do you do that? Do you do brainstorming sessions? Well, it is very important because innovation is coming from something that is valued, you know? There is a difference between innovation and creativity. Creativity is something you start from scratch, an idea, you know, something. But innovation is when you apply it to a business and earn money from it. If you earn money from innovation, then or if you perhaps, you know, develop a study, develop a machine, if you add something to your machine in your company, then automatically you are doing innovation, because it is extremely important. It is very, 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 very important that you do your study from your innovation and then earn money from it, you know, because this is the idea. So what can we do? There is a test. We don't have time because I think my time is almost up, finished. So I will just give you an idea for you to do on your own, and especially if you like to do it with your company members, because if we have our hands on something, we learn it. Otherwise, it is only intellectual. No, we don't learn it so much. We just even forget it after a while. So we need to do it accordingly. So let me show you. In order to start our imagination motor, okay, we need to do a brainstorming session, okay? So we have to have many, many ideas together. Well, you can look, you should forget the logic. You should have different disciplines of people in your team, maybe 5 to 10 people, not more than that. You know, the time should be limited, 1 hour. We will do brainstorming for 1 hour, you know, and you can have really good chats, and you can forget about all the borders, you know, all the limits in that 1 hour. You can bring out many, many ideas. So this is what people have done, and they have found really great ideas, like at Brain Trust meetings at Pixar, you know, the big animation film company, which is today belongs to Disney World. Catmull, the CEO at that time, you know, he did Brain Trust meetings. Or Gillette, you know, Gillette tried to bring the Silkins shampoo in 1980s, and it was a big success because he asked their people to think themselves as if they are the hair. You know, they empathize in a way that they thought of themselves as they are hair. You know, can you imagine? Did you ever imagine yourself as being hair of a person? You know, the hair, just one hair. Now, how would you feel if you were the hair of a person? That's how they did it at that time, and they brought out this Silkins shampoo, and it was a big success. So what we'll do is now, I will just give you this information, and then I will finish my presentation. After that, a design of an office. Okay, so I like you to just listen to it now a little bit, and then bring this idea to yourself in your spare time, and also to your employees in your company, you know, subordinates, you know, your superiors, whoever, just for you to do this study. So there are different ideas for, you know, for companies, different ideas, how they decorate their offices. You know, this is Tel Aviv, Google Singapore. You know, they have this this place here. And Google Ontario, you can see it as the Batman figures in the room. Google's New York City, you know, you can go around with scooters, or even Google Zurich. They play soccer and you know, basketball in the office inside, just next to their office chairs. Google Australia. This is a New Zealand company for architecture. They're doing their studies in a caravan or something, you know, in a cozy environment. This is a company in Istanbul, a very successful company. They just put a swinging chair in the office, you know, maybe 3rd floor, 4th floor. You know, very simple. You don't have to spend much. You can have one employee just, you know, swinging, and, you know, the window is open, you know, having some breeze and have fun. So the idea is, if you were a boss or an office manager, okay, and you are free in terms of the budget, you can spend as much as you like, up to you. You know, it doesn't matter. No one is going to 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 limit you, then what would you do? How would you decorate your office? This is an imaginary example. So you can do it on your own, or you can do it with your teams, and you can do this a brainstorming session, or you can have them go to different rooms and prepare some slides and then come back with, with the board and present you. In any case, but it is a great example. I do it with the Technical University, my students, and we're giving wonderful ideas. It's really interesting. So you can do this exercise, because the more we do exercises, then the more we can prepare our soul, we can increase our observations, and we can imagine. Okay, so this is I think 3 or 5, and I don't know how much I did, but I think I'm over 30 minutes, so I'm finishing now. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. I have so many more slides to show, because my class at ITU is 14 weeks long. So I try to give you half an hour. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Do we have any questions?
Can I jump in and ask a question?
Yes,
this is
go ahead.
Ranga here. Thank you very much for a meaningful presentation. You spoke about spending an hour to connect with your soul or prepare your soul. A lot of us try to take a long walk or a run or a cycle for that period of time. And I was assuming that that's an element of activity one could do until you said you have to write an essay. So how connected is an essay to taking that 1 hour off for a physical activity?
The idea is, yes, you can walk or you can run and have the same activity, yes. The Japanese big writer Haruki Murakami, he's a marathon runner. And he says that when he runs marathons, he can think of his new novels, that's, the ideas, the fiction that's coming to his head. So running is a great idea to bring up new ideas. But the thing is, you can do the running, and while you're running, you can have these ideas coming to your mind. You cannot write while you are running, of course. Well, you can, but actually you can do recording if you want, depending on your speed of running as well. But the idea is for you to do this exercise, in this case, after you're running. Run for 1 hour and then sit down, but while you do the running, the idea is to have these ideas to come to your brain, Think about these ideas. You will maybe think of 15 ideas, but then you can perhaps put 5 of them on paper. It doesn't matter how you do it. Just the idea is to do the exercise and then to put it on paper so that you have something sound in your hand for your future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Please.
This is regarding the circles exercise that we did in the beginning, which was fun to do. But what conclusion? I mean, I think it just ended abruptly, right? So I'm just trying to understand what's the conclusion we take from that. Is there something that we can learn, or if it is something I do in my office, how do I really conclude that exercise?
Sure. And the thing is, the world average is that people are doing mostly 5 to 10 circles. That's the world average. So if you do below 5, if you could only do 2 or 3 or 1, it shows on the world average, it shows that you need to work more on your creativity, okay? But as I'm saying, it is not the only way of searching or measuring your creativity. It is not the only one. You could do many, many of them. This is just for you to get an idea. But if you did 15 or 20, it also shows that you did something good, but it is all subjective. It's all subjective. As I said, I had in seminars people doing 30 of them. They were all connecting them like a electrical circuit, just with the dots. and making one electrical circuit and saying that I did all. But that's not, well, okay, congratulations, you finished all, but you did only one. At the end, it is one example. What if you can do many examples? How many different examples can you do? This is idea, but it is not the only way of, I want to punctuate on this. It is only for you to get an idea, because we need to work on creativity. We need to do exercises all the time. If you want to create, to increase your creativity, you need to be exposed to different things, different movies. Don't watch the same kind of movie every time. Don't watch the same kind of music every time. Try to change things. As they say, don't go home every day from the same street. Once in a while, look to other streets to go home. This is the idea. I don't know if you could answer your question.
Got it. Thank you.
I do have a question as well, if I may, because what I was missing actually, and I think this is following Vinay's question, you did not really stress on what is driving us. Is it thinking or feeling? You were alluding to leadership theories and so on and so forth, because we all do grow up differently. And I don't really understand. Is it good to have just one thing filled out, or is it better to have 10 and more? So I was struggling hard to understand what your key message actually is. If you could maybe summarize a little bit.
Well, I don't understand your question, first of all. So
my question is, if you talk about creativity, what drives creativity? Is it feeling? Is it thinking? Is it your upbringing? Is it whatever?
I think you're talking about all of them are the same thing. You are starting with a thought. Okay, the thought comes to your mind, and with the thought you have a feeling. It's either anger or it is love. I don't know, something that positive or negative. The thought brings you a feeling, and with the feeling you have an idea. You can say this is, vice versa. It's okay. The thing is for you to express what you want to express in your field, whatever your field is. So I don't know if I'm answering your question, but it's also abstract.
I'm just trying to put what you said in a certain perspective, right? This X stuff, the 30 bits. Is it good to fill in without thinking, just what comes to my mind, and I do whatever? Or is it better to have a circle thought and fill in 2 instead of 30? So what is the measure? I'm trying to find a key message in your talk.
There are no rules, no limits. It's all. Sometimes you have first a feeling, you are angry about something, and you write a poem about it. A poem that expresses your feelings about that situation, a boycott in a way, okay? Or it can be the other way around. You are very, very happy, you have no problem in your life, and with that love, you create something, whether it is in your business or art, I don't know. So it's all a mixture. It is coming from your experience. But
that's the point. That's exactly the point.
Yes.
I think in terms of however you feel in whatever situation you are, you might be undergoing this exercise in a totally different way, right?
You can do. There are no limits. You can do however you like. You need to prepare, that's why I'm saying you need to prepare your soul by saying you need to go somewhere where you are in a calm area and just think about what you want to write down, or however you want to do it.
I want to support.
And you need to observe.
May I support?
Please, Tom, please support me, please.
You could put 30 numbers in, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 30. Then you have 30 signs in, and this would mean you are maximum creative, I believe. What you put in must be a story, so there must be a more meaningful input, and not only a sign in to measure creativity. This is what Richard is saying and what I can support. So I think it's more what you put in. If it's too simple, of course, everybody has 30, but doesn't mean that this person is more creative.
Okay, agree.
I think we should all visit you in Istanbul. Istanbul is one of the most wonderful cities in the world. I was just chatting with one of our fellow Rotarians, and I visited many times, and So just that, thank you, I would say, for tuning in from there. And I can imagine where you are because you actually look over to the other side, right?
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Pipi Shahul is there right now, right? Pipi Shahul,
Yes.
are you still there?
Yes, of course he is. And he confided like whatever, never mind. So he's there and he's enjoying it.
Yes.
Hi. Thank you,
Hi,
Alma, for a
Tony.
very,
Good
very
to
good
see you.
presentation.
Thank you.
I was drawing PD and Lama tunes on my circles.
Actually, my problem is I cannot
Did you
draw.
visit the Blue Moschee? Did you visit the Blue Moschee, Shahul?
Yes, of course.
Oh my God. And the bazaar, the big bazaar.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, it's wonderful. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful. Yes.
Well,
Cool.
I think
Now I stop.
in the interest of time, and we would like to now invite Rotarian Rajiv Mukul to actually give our vote of thanks.
Hi, Rotarian Almelek. On behalf of President Luis and all members of our club, I would like to extend our sincere thanks for sharing very uniquely inspiring, energetic, innovative insights on a very important topic and very relevant topic, I would say, of creativity and especially the importance of creativity in leaders. Like in Istanbul Rotary Club, all members in Rotary Club of Singapore are also leaders in their own field, whether it is in corporate settings or business or even in community. I'm sure all of us will take a number of learnings from your short seminar, as you put it, and will apply to our own vacations and engagements around. I once again would like to thank you for your time, especially at the early time of your busy day. And once again, thank you so much from all of us.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to give you. Thank you.
Thank you once again. So we learned so much. So we should do the exercise. Brigitta will learn it perfectly and then come back to Singapore and do the exercise for us.
Absolutely.
You'll be ably assisted by Rotarian Tom Wolf. Okay.
Let's see, huh?
So let's move on to the next topic. So next week.
So I'd like to ask permission to leave, if you don't mind.
Oh,
thank you very much for
having
me.
Joining us.
Thank you very
Welcome
much.
to Singapore anytime.
Thank you. I've been to Singapore before. It's a beautiful country, and I loved it. Thank you.
Yes, come again.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
So for those who are going to join us next week, it's a fireside chat. And we have Mr. Hugh Lim, Executive Director, Center for Livable Cities in MND. So let's listen to Mr. Hugh Lim and let him share with us about this very important topic about environment and sustainability, which is actually one of Rotary's key initiatives. We are encouraged to do as much as we can, even if we feel that sometimes what's the point? Nothing's helping, but every bit counts. So we have a lot of environmental and sustainability champions in our club. So let's listen to Mr. Hugh Lim. I think he'll be our fourth speaker on livable cities, urban greenery, as well as urban farming. So with that, I would like to thank all our Rotarians, our past presidents, our guests and friends who are here joining us. And until next week, join us again. For those who are new the first time, join us next week. Keep the Zoom ID and passcode is always the same every Wednesday. All right, until we stop Zoom and do full physical, the same thing every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Thank you once again, and leaves me now to do this favorite part of the evening. Meeting's closed.